Hey guys, we're here with a special guest today, Lollo Nebu, who is high rated on Dueling Book with one and only dinosaurs. So maybe I'll just get you to quickly introduce yourself and why you're playing dinos in this format.
Hi, so my name is Lorenzo Nebuloni. I'm from Italy, and I've been playing this deck since 2018. Recently, it's been pretty good. Since when Scrap Raptor came out, I started playing this FTK version, which I think is the best way to play this deck, and it's gotten me high rated pretty much always since then. I've always played going first because I find going second very risky,
Hmm.
especially in formats like this with tournaments, which can like make up really crazy boards. And even if you main deck some board breakers, it's really hard to play through them. Also, most lists, I guess, are on double UCT, double Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. But with the Hishizu card, it's very risky to go second against here because they can mill your Tyranno and you have no way to get it back. So I think going first is the safest way to play the deck.
Okay, that's fair. I guess maybe we'll just get started right on the list. And we do have two Archosaurs, the three babies, one Pank, one Dogoran, Giant Rex, one Misk, still at one, of course, three Petites. Maybe and then the three Ovies. Maybe we'll talk about the Dino stuff first. Is that standard ratio? I can't remember if people played three Petites.
No, it's not standard ratio. Most people play like two to three babies and only one petite, maybe two, but never three. This version is, as I said, it's very focused on going first, but most going first lists dinosaur decide to play like uh, two petite. Also, they don't play the most of the other cards of the going first cards of the extenders because they prefer to play something like hand traps or board breakers. But I find that playing as much engine as possible, as much power as possible, you can freely play through most boards just with your engine, and it helps playing also through hand traps going first. So I decided to maximize the baby because you can't really play if you don't see one of those.
Okay, that's fair. And I guess we have the scrap stuff, the Chimera, Golem, two scrap Raptors, and then some of the True King stuff, Lithogasm, and the one UCT. I guess any other comments on that piece?
Well, yeah, I only play one UCT because
Mm-hmm.
like most players would play two because you end on one on your end board, and then you have the second one for follow up. In this deck, you 99% of the time you go for the FTK lines, so you don't really need the UCT. It's just there as a backup plan if your combo gets interrupted very badly, or when you go second, it's a very important tool to OTK. But you only play one because you don't really need the second.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So I guess moving on to the spells, we do have two double evolution pills, the one called by, one diagram, three fossil digs. We have one of the newer cards, Ground Xeno, three Lost World, one for one, set rotation, three small worlds, and terraforming. Anything about the spell? Like, let's say, like the new spell, is it? How are you finding it?
So in the beginning, I played it at three.
Mm.
Uh, then I decided to drop it at two, and now I'm playing it at one. It's a really good spell, but in this deck it's a little weird. As you can see, I don't play the Xeno Meteors, the level 6 one, the tuner, which summons the vanilla. Well, because it's not needed for any combo. And my search target with Growing Xeno is Scrap Raptor. So the fact is that Scrap Raptor is needed for the combo. You need to have always one in deck, and there are some lines where if you draw it, you can do some combos. For example, if you draw Scrap Raptor plus Lost World, you can go for FTK. But most of the times you want to use a normal summon either on OV or a baby or Akuso. So if you open it, if it is in your hand, there's not really a way you can use it. And as I said, yeah, you always want one in deck. And the reasoning for playing only one ground Xeno is that if you play too many, you are sometimes forced to have a double Scrap Raptor in hand, which can really hinder your lines. So I found that at one it's really good because it can work as an extender, same as diagram, because like pop one, add one, and then you can go off. It helps playing through like Ash on Misk, which is something that you really fear. And so in general, this deck plays a lot of extenders. You have tons of way to play through Ash, through Droll, through Imperm, I guess. So the deck is really built to push through Anthrops. That's why I'm playing all this engine, all these cards like one for one. I'm playing three Lost Word and Set Rotation. Set Rotation is really great because not only it gives you a field spell, but it can also protect you from Imperm.
Awesome. I guess are there any like what hand traps would be kind of like the most impactful against this particular build?
Well, as I said, Ash is not really a problem. Like 99% of the times you can play through it either with Last Word, one for one, Diagram, even Lithosagim. If you draw like Lithosagim plus a baby plus any monster to destroy, you can FTK through Ashen Misk, so that's not a problem. Also small work because it can search Litho and stuff like that. Some of the entraps that you fear are uh, one of the hardest to play around is Droll, because it's really hard for you to FTK and Droll. You need to either already have drawn Scrap Chimera and Pale, or have drawn like some weird hands with Last Word. So I'm saying that Droll is the hardest entrance to play around, but most of the times when you get Droll, you just like go for discard Misk, Noma Ovi, send Rex, banish 2 for Petit, Rex come back, you go for Dolka, and in the end phase, Petit gets popped and you summon Pancratops. So most of the times under draw, you go for these unoptimal boards, we can say,
Hmm.
which are usually like either Dolka plus Pancro or Dolka plus Tyranno, which are not the best, but you can still play. The other entraps uh, are like Imperm. The weak point for the combo is Imperm on Scrap Wyvern. If you get Imperm on that you can't really play. Uh, you can really go for the FTK again. So you like end on something like usually Dolka plus Tyranno. The only ways to really play around the Imperm are either opening Lost Word and giving your opponent a token, or opening Set Rotation. But there's not other way, so Imperm is pretty good. And of course, the last one is Dimension Shifter. It's really good against this deck. There's really little you can do against it. The only thing you can really do is normal summon Ovi, send Rex from deck that get banished, summon back Rex and go for like Dolka Pass, which I mean
Right.
is something, but
Hmm.
it's not that good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then I guess moving on to the extra deck, we have the Dark Dimension Soldier, Jumeth Mech, Magma, Bishbalkin, Dolka, Lagia, Chronomaly, Machu Mech, Dugaris, Appaloosa, Transverser, Cerberus, Two Karibos, the new SP Little Knight, Wyvern, and Gardna. Anything with the extra deck? How is SP Little Knight in this deck? It is a new addition post AGOV.
Well, actually, Spirit Knight fits a really weird spot in this deck
Hmm.
because during the combo you need to have a Link 2 that can activate its effect, so that you can then negate it with your Dolka to detach Rex and send it to graveyard, so that you can have a level 4 to banish with Peel, which summons itself. So before Little Knight came out, I was playing Reproducus, which fits the same purpose, but I switched to Little Knight because when not used for this purpose, it's still a really really good card. For example, going second, it really helps against Unchained, or pretty much against any matchup. It's like a double banish, and the only really drawback is that you can't attack directly, but you can actually play a little around that,
Hmm.
because you can later in the combo, when you go second, you can use Scrap Golem to summon a monster to your opponent's field. Then you summon Tyranno, and use Dugares, you use the third effect to double Tyranno attack, so that you can still go for game attacking over uh, the monster you gave him plus any other monster. So that's not really a drawback. It's really good going second.
Nice. Anything else about the extra deck you wanted to mention?
Not really. I'd say that there's not really many cards you can change. You might The only cards you can change are Legia maybe and Secure Garda. Yeah, some people play Baguska because when you normal summon Ovi under Shifter, you can banish Rex from deck, and you can make that instead of Look against like Flanderies, which is right now the main deck that plays Shifter, and it's a little better than Loka, but I find that the utility of Secure Garden is much more important because it's an easy way to put Link Rebo in graveyard as a way to access an Dino for double evolution pill.
And then I guess finally onto the side, then we have the 3 Ash, 3 Druidstone, 1 Meg, 2 additional Doggerons, the 3 Droll, Feather Duster, and Lightning Storms. How is the side working out for you in this new format?
Well, so the side deck for this deck is really weird. Well, first of all, of course, I don't play any cards to side in for when I go first. I just play with my main deck because I don't really need anything. Like it wouldn't make sense for me to side like the barrier because I'm just going for the FTK. So my side is just 15 going second cards. The weird thing is that most of the times you are siding for going second, but you don't know what your opponent is playing because you went for the FTK.
Right.
Unless, of course, you saw your opponent extra deck with Lithogasm, but that's usually not the case. So I need to play some really generic cards that are good against most matchups. For example, when I'm blindsiding going second, I'm going for like Ash, which is generic, good against anything. Dogran, same, it can help like removing some negates, and Lightning Storm, which is good both for popping back rows and, for example, against Unchained, it can destroy the rank 6, which is really annoying for this deck to out. For the Bestial, playing those because, well, tier is really good and they really help. And of course, the other cards is Droll. Droll is really good this format. It's good against tier. It's uh, it's it's good pretty much against everything, against Chimera, uh, especially, but Flanderies, and even some rogue decks. And last thing is Harpy's Feather Duster for something like Labyrinth, or for example, when you go second against Branded Chimera, they might side something like There Can Be Only One, so I'm siding Duster and Storm against that. Also for like purely, some people are now playing some limit. I'm noticing on rated, so I'm also playing the backward removal for any floodgate that my opponent could side when he goes first.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the deck profile. Any last shoutouts?
Yeah, I wanted to shout out my friends Giacomo, Matteo, Massimo, and Gabriele, which who helped me test this deck and helped me practice, and also all my other friends and the all the guys that know me at the card shop.
Awesome. Thank you again. Take care.